Hello everyone. Before we start today's video, if you could all do me a solid and lightly tap the like button, perhaps share the video about and leave a comment. If you are not subscribed, subscribe as well. It would greatly help this channel. Thank you very much. Well, isn't this just fantastic? Captain's Log, Subdate 221218.1. On the 18th day of Moistmas, my whole crew gave to me KSI's Cumtow, authentic American cheese, and one chocolateless Jaffa cake. This makes me feel sad now. Hello everyone, welcome to This Week at Twitter, or Twat. Today we're going to start with a tweet from Chris Raygun. It has been over half a decade since I heard a good criticism of me. I miss it. Now it's always some anime avi saying Chris is woke now, because I didn't simp for Elon enough or something. The reason for this tweet is because Chris Raygun has of late gone through a bit of a, not necessarily a rebranding, but removed some of the content that made him notable. Noteworthy? Famous! I do recall him being compared to iDubbbz a lot. I found Chris Raygun to be a very entertaining creator, naturally funny, very catchy, very witty, very gifted. Removing some of the edgier content would have rubbed a lot of people up the wrong way. That's not a criticism from me, by the way. I didn't even know you were still making content, which is why I retweeted you. I genuinely didn't realize. But I have watched some of your content since. When you do make videos, you're a very entertaining guy. 100%. And as someone that uses a cartoon avatar because it totally looks just like me, I know you're going to take me super serious. Although for the sake of it, I don't have any legit criticisms of you beyond make more videos. I know less is more works for some people, but that's the only thing I can say. I don't have anything beyond that as a criticism. I just found it interesting because you tweeted this because you've been getting a lot of flack for changing who you are, and there's nothing inherently wrong with changing at all. In fact, we all change during our lifetimes. If some don't like that or want to keep up, that is up to them. They're going to tell you because they have the freedom to express that. The simping for Elon thing? Don't care. If you want to see someone not simp for Elon in the slightest, watch Thunderfoot. He makes so many videos on Elon at the moment. It's almost as obsessive as that of Repsion and Onision. So next we're going to a tweet. Now I only know the person involved in the replies to it, but I disagree with what they've said, so I want to read it. Discord Nitro users are equal to Twitter Blue users. Now I fundamentally disagree with this because I use Discord Nitro. I use it to boost my server, others do in fact, which in turn yields a greater benefit to my server for movie nights, games streaming on the server, listening to music together. Basically, it's a bit of a business expense, that's what I consider it to be. And that in turn makes others want to join in on the fun. Channel membership down below, smash it, join the server so we can hate you. Ivory Rasmus replied, to be fair, I use Discord for file sharing with music, so it actually helps a lot to be able to send big WAV files and art. That's actually a good point. Something I also do when I include audio of me messing about on my guitar, or sending files I need to use for videos onto a server that I work on. I would argue though, for the sake of sending files over anyone, WeTransfer is vastly superior. You get a 2 GB space. Much more usable and useful. Consider that my advice and civic duty for the day and year. Reply from Fennecat. I'm talking about the demographic with Rainbow Vomit as their profile, who only use it for that, and Twitter Blue is similar, I just don't like the idea. Emotes are a very big draw, as Ivory Rasmus has correctly pointed out, none of which I give a monkey's about. I see it as a novelty. Also, I'm in the UK, we don't have Twitter Blue. Also, I'm on Android, we don't have Twitter Blue. And also, I'm not paying for Twitter Blue. I wouldn't need it or use it, get any real discernible use out of it. But, in the context of what I use, Discord is perfect. But I'm hoping we can agree to disagree on this one. I do not agree with your initial assessment that Discord Nitro users are equal to Twitter Blue users. This has been my TED Talk. Moving on. So, at some point in December, I released a video titled Where Are They Now on Deaf Noodles. In that video, I go through what I have said about him in the past and where he is at present. Now, he has had quite an eventful 2022. From somebody averaging 100,000 views every day on every upload, he has gone from that all the way down to about 4,000 views per video. He has had the almightiest of falls. Whether he'll admit it's a fall is on him. Whether he'll admit this was a colossal fail is on him. Whether he'll just admit he got a lot of things wrong is again on him. His ego is a big part of this. So my Where Are They Now was quite spicy because he has done a lot and it's all just crashed and burned. He can be very proud of the fact he ran his own comedy club, even if from what we saw on Twitch when he wasn't being yeeted off it, it was cringe. He ended up promoting Salvo, who's all over the place at the moment. I'm not entirely sure if he's in good favour or good standing or not. It's not my area, I don't care enough. I want to stick to Def Noodles though, because Def Noodles saw my video, or someone within his community or on his team saw my video. I know this, because when Def Noodles was reinstated on Twitter, I was no longer blocked. Many of us weren't. I was blocked before when I did my very first video on him when I simply said, dude, you can't take criticism. Straight up, he can't take it. We now know this for certain because I'm blocked again. Congratulations, I'd like to present you with this award. Well done, you're a fucking smeghead with a dead channel. I would feel bad for you, but there were warnings, and repeatedly you ignored them. And I'm genuinely trying to be nice about it. But what's the point of being nice to somebody over and over again and expecting a different result when you are still a snowflake, when you are still incapable of handling an iota of criticism? Moving on, we need to talk about Giant Penis Parody, aka Count Dankula. Mike Solana put out a tweet titled Ruthless. An image was included of a blue checkmark that said verified account. This is a legacy verified account. It may or may not be notable. Fun fact, that's what Elon Musk's comes up as if you click on the checkmark on his account. He replied to this, in a few months, we will remove all legacy blue checks. The way in which they were given out was corrupt and nonsensical. I like this. I like this transparency, with intention that is. Whether or not anything discernible result-wise will happen is unknown at present. How does this tie into Dankula, block caps?
Let me change my name.
Now you'll notice from that, his name is now Count Dankula, because he's finally been allowed to change his name back, and he's still ever so slightly doing cope on this. And I can prove it. Count Dankula retweeted Figs, who had tweeted to Count Dankula, good morning,
Giant Penis.
Count Dankula replied, it's over, it's done. We can all move on with our lives and forget about the dead horse that was beaten so much over the course of a month that it could have been put straight into a Findus lasagna. I disagree with this, mostly because you got salty, you showed weakness. It tasted delicious. It would have gone really well with that lasagna. You will always live on in our hearts and souls as the one true verified
Giant Penis
parody. So recently, thanks to Justin Wang, I have discovered something new about Twitter I never knew existed, a function that I don't think is required. Disney tweeted out, get to know Spider, a human friend of Jake and Neytiri's children. Is that how you pronounce that? You know what, I don't care. In hashtag Avatar the Way of Water. Included is an image. Now I knew nothing of what was going on here until Justin Wang had retweeted this with, check the hidden replies. I didn't know what he was talking about. So I got on the computer and I archived everything, had a little look, and under the image, just to the right there, is an icon. I didn't know what that was. But thanks to all the replies underneath, many have also pointed out hidden replies. People should check them. And I will tell you this, there is a cursed image there. There are two, in fact. One involves a green M&M in the middle of a, giving sucky now. The other image concerns, it's tweeted by someone called Moldy Dildo. Yeah, that's how you pronounce that. And it's, I can show you a part of the image. It's Jar Jar Binks here. He was done dirty once before. He needed a fair chance. I didn't realize two things. Firstly, that he was in possession of the almighty God Rod. And the second being the fact that apparently his is 100% retractable. What a novel concept. It's a grower, not a shower. So next, Joshua something the Ghostwriter. Ray, Galadriel, Captain Marvel, Bo Peep. Why are modern female heroes so unlikable? And what does it mean for us professional writers? It all starts with Mary Sue. All four characters are a variation on the Mary Sue trope. A Mary Sue is a protagonist who can overpower foes with ease, but without the backstory to explain her personality, values, agenda, or those abilities. Mary Suing a character is how you botch the hero's journey. In a typical hero's journey, the protagonist is weaker than the villain in every tangible way. That's important when you're considering the odds of who's going to win. But the hero is always set apart from the antagonist by one important quality. The hero does not believe the ends justify the means. The antagonist always does believe the ends justify the means. That is the fatal flaw of the antagonist, and that's why we root for the hero. This thread goes on for dozens of tweets, highlighting other characters and other franchises that weren't given this Mary Sue treatment and were more endearing. The more notable being like Eowyn. When I was a teenager, I thought she was hot, okay? But also pointing out the issues concerning that of Brie Larson's Captain Marvel, Daisy somebody's Rey, Palpatine, and Galadriel. Well, Galadriel's story is a bit strange. It's not necessarily that she has no character development, it's that the character has no character, and also cringe. Bo Peep one confused me. I haven't seen Toy Story 4, mostly because I don't believe any of the Toy Story movies exist after 2. Just no. Okay, I don't need that sadness in my life. I saw this via your boy Pat, who retweeted it with, "This guy just opened the biggest can of worms by passing off the race stands." There are a fair few race stands out there, and if you are one of those people, shut up. The only reason you're a stand for Rey is because you think her double lightsaber might touch your one feeble lightsaber. Rey could have been so much more if the franchise wasn't written so poorly and rushed to meet a deadline. Less is more, unless you're pumping it out like Disney does, or like Jar Jar Binks does if you've seen the image. It's a cursed one, I'm sure you've seen it. To finish, Robert Reich. Elon Musk and his enablers have turned this website into a torrent of ad hominem attacks, lies floated as jokes, and blatant misinformation. This isn't freedom of speech, it's just dangerous. Also saying that the replies to this tweet confirm exactly what I was talking about. In the context of your first tweet, I think your first mistake was thinking that Twitter was somehow a credible news source. Can we just go back to the days where it was not controversial to tweet out, "I like toast"? Jordan Peterson retweeted this tweet from Robert Reich with, "And it's getting just impossible to find child that." Can't say that on this video, I'd be demonetized. Now, this is an interesting tweet because I, like a number of people, have never ever on Twitter seen this. In fact, I've never seen it anywhere, to be clear. I don't go looking for it, and I'll be honest, if it's ever existed on Twitter, I genuinely don't know. So for the sake of it, Claudia Brown's reply, "I have literally never seen CP on Twitter, WTF are you guys looking at?" With the most appropriate reply being, "In the world of personalized algorithms, I do not understand why people still post like this." And that's a point, because Peterson has kind of retweeted somebody talking about something else news related, basically, with a non sequitur. I assume there's some kind of own here because Mr. Reich is a professor and formerly a Labour secretary. But to be honest, when it comes to some of the things Jordan Peterson tweets out, it becomes a bit of a lottery as to whether or not it is something that has a point or the message is hidden to an in-joke that only he understands, and a select few.